cherry Coke is awesome.
Yes, it is. It's quite delicious, very nutritious. Just
Very
kidding, it's really
nutritious.
not. But it is tasty, so...
Cherries.
You're stupid. Okay.
All right, well, this is the one where we talk about anime.
Hey, I'm down with that, man. I love anime, so...
Well, if you haven't figured it out, David is not here this week.
No, he's not. So, I mean, I don't know.
No, he just got really busy this week, and the one day he set aside to record, he decided to get sick.
Of course.
Of course. However, with me today, if you haven't been listening for the last few minutes, we have a very special guest. He's a professional voice actor known as Jordan Cruz.
Hey guys, how's it going? Oh my goodness.
You've done a few games and...
I mean, I've done a few things here and there. I mean, nothing like super big, nothing like super major, like, not going to California and recording or anything, but...
But you have been over there.
I have gone over there just to visit. I have a couple friends over there in the business and stuff, and they're pretty cool. But no, I mean, I've just kind of, done a couple little things here and there. I mean, I'd like to talk about it, but I'm not sure if I've actually gotten the okay to talk about them. So
those games.
I can't really say anything, but I can say that they are pretty interesting to say the least. So whenever they do get released, it'll be exciting for sure.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, our listeners have heard of you, or I've mentioned my, quote, friend that was a voice actor complaining about how the Japanese and the dubs and everything.
Yeah. No, see, okay, so the deal with that is I like Japanese, anime. I enjoy watching it, in Japanese and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people bash like the English voice over for anime.
For me, it's really of the feelings in their voice.
Yeah.
Like a lot, I'll give it to Funimation. They have gotten better, but it used to just be so bad with a lot of them that you could tell that they were just doing the voices.
Yeah.
It's like when you're listening to things in Japan or in Japan, when you listen to things in Japanese, you can tell that they're putting their full emotions into the voice to bring that character to life. And then over here, sometimes they're just kind of like, hey, over here.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're like, I guess, you do have a point with that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there have been some English dubs that like I listen to and I'm just like, wow, this is really like not that good. But the thing is honestly, I think that they are getting better. I think one of the issues might be though, they only have like a certain amount of voice actors that they can really choose from when it comes to, doing the show. And the thing is, with that, you get a lot of like the same voice actors voicing like the main characters or voicing like...
Yeah, see, that's what I don't understand is like Funimation and everything. They have like 3 or 4 people doing like multiple voices and stuff. And then you look at shows like Negi. There was maybe 6 English voice actors on that. And, like, the Japanese version had all 30 of the kids.
I mean, I'd have to look at that. Like, I'd have to look at, like, the cast list and stuff just because I'm not sure. But I know, the old Dragon Ball Z, I mean, I'm sure everybody loves the old Dragon Ball Z. That literally had, like, only a few voice actors in it. I mean, you had... I think it was Chris Sabat playing like 50 characters in that show. And the thing is, as kids watching it, we didn't really pay attention. We just were like, oh man,
it's Dragon Ball Z.
A bunch of aliens just blowing up crap. But like, actually looking back on it now, like I listen to it and I'm just like, that's Chris Sabat. And that's Chris Sabat.
Sabat.
And that's Chris too.
Sabat.
I'm like, what the heck's going on? No, I'm kidding. He's a really great actor and stuff. But also, like, it just kind of goes too with, like, who's directing the show. You know, they might have, like, a different feel for, like, what they feel like the character might sound like.
Yeah.
So they'll just kind of go with that. You know what I mean? There's just different things like that. Personally, I like watching it in English dub just because since I do voice act,
I do.
Yeah, since I do like voice acting, you know, it's just kind of cool to like listen to some of the English voice actors and like maybe
you
kind of get into their head.
Way too much.
I do, but that's just because, you know, like I said, like sometimes I have like a certain voice in my head too, and you know, I'm not saying that
tore to pieces my favorite anime. You're just Tenchi Muyo. You're just like, oh, this is so bad. I can't watch it.
That's because it was. I'm sorry, but it was. That's like, what was it? When did it come out? Like 2000, I think, or something like that. 1999.
Tenchi.
I mean, I know
Tenchi
in America it came out like
in like 97.
Was it?
It might have been 99.
Okay, yeah. See, but like the thing is. You know, that was back when anime was first starting to get dubbed. Yeah. So they didn't really know what they were doing.
Yeah, that was really the time of where they were like picking people off the street to come do voices because they didn't have the funding.
For the most part. But the thing is, it's so weird too because there's anime that came out around that time that was really good voice acting, like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, like all that, like superb, like even Digimon, you know? Digimon was great. You know?
It was. They were all like, you could tell they weren't little kids, their voices.
It's true. It is true.
Especially, Tai, that's the main character, his little sister.
Oh yeah, Kari. I remember.
I don't know who her voice actress was.
It was
but
Laura
she
Jo
sounded
Miller.
like she was 40 years old.
It was Laura Jo Miller. Like she's just got a unique voice. Like I
it was
like
just
her voice,
like
but...
that wasn't a little. And the little girl's younger than the rest of the cast, and she sounds like she's older than all of them.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool though. It was a cool voice. So. But I don't know. To me though, it's funny because I know Joshua Seth like did the voice of Tai. Yeah. And it's like ever since he did the voice of Tai, every time like I heard him talk in like any other anime he was in, like I just heard Tai, and I'm just like, is Tai in the show? Like, you know,
there were so many animes I watched where I was like, oh, that's Van Flyheit from like Zoids and Digimon, were like the two series where their voice actors, they didn't really do main characters in other shows, but whenever they did a voice, you knew it was them.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like, oh, there's a Digimon voice. Or it was like the like bat creature from Digimon. I forget.
Oh, what was his name? Demimon or Devimon?
I forget. But like, he's got that like really raspy voice, and he did like everything.
Yeah, Derek Stephen Prince. That's another example of just like a show that took like 5 voice actors and just kind of
just
had them, you know, play like a whole bunch of different characters, which is fine. You know, I mean, like I said, as a kid, you know, that came out back when we were like kids and stuff, so we didn't really care.
That's the
about
other
that.
thing. It's like shows like Digimon and stuff. Yeah, we all love it, but those are really designed for kids.
Yeah, but I mean, it was still good. You know, I mean, every now and then I'll pop in like an old episode of Digimon and I'll just be like, the good times. I'll be sipping on my cherry Coke too. So. But nah, man, like it's like, I don't know, like I try not to like nitpick and stuff like that. Like I just try to sit back and enjoy the show, but you are right. Like if I do see some bad voice acting in it, I'll say something, just kind of like in Tenchi Muyo. Cause okay, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, listen, okay. All right, and I'm sure the viewers will agree. Okay, first off, the guy's name is like Matthew Kermit Miller. Then he did the voice of Tenchi, like back in the day. And I'm not even kidding you. Like he sounded like Kermit the Frog. Like he straight up. What was the line? It was when something happened. And he was like in this room that got like blown up or something. And he's just like, oh man, what's that smell? Oh, it's just gas fumes. Gas fumes. Oh, like, and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, yes, there's gas fumes, but Like, there's nothing, like, you don't react like that. Like, I don't know, but
that's probably. It's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Because it was like, if you watch the rest of Tenchi, he gets like the really high voice.
Yeah.
To his voice, and then in the new OVAs that came out, where they actually brought back all the original cast except for Mihoshi and Ryoko, which really pissed me off. Because I loved Ryoko's voice actress.
Yeah. But
when he came back and redid Tenchi again, since he was so much older now, he has that really deep voice. So it was like he was trying to do the Tenchi stuff again. And it just sounded so funny.
It sounded forced and stuff.
I felt so bad for the dude.
Nah, it's all good.
It's in Japan how the same voice actor that did King Kai and Goku, like she's hitting her Goku voice like constantly. But the poor old guy that has been doing King Kai since the 80s. And he's like 85 or 83 now. Yeah. And he's still doing King Kai, but he can't do the fast talk that King Kai used to do.
Oh, really?
So he's like, "Gong dong," and it's like, I feel so bad. I'm like, it's great hearing his voice still doing King Kai, but it's like, he can't hit the voice that he used to do.
And I think it's just with guys, like guy voice actors, like when we get older,
there's not much we can do.
Our voices kind of tend to change.
First we sound like little girls.
Yeah, and like women, their voices change and stuff too, but like I don't think it's as drastic as like, male voices and stuff. Like, in 20 years, I'm probably not going to be sounding like this, and you're probably not going to be sounding like that and stuff. So, but nah, I don't know, like I said, I just like watching anime and just kind of, delving into it and just kind of like really paying attention, because like I said, being a voice actor, I just like to like listen and see where the English voice actors are coming from and maybe why they chose to say a line a certain way, or like, maybe what's happening in the scene and stuff. I will say though that something that has gotten a lot better from back then is the scripting of anime.
Yes.
And the scripts, like back then it just,
because that was all on the translation more than anything, because they weren't allowed to edit the video, because that was like a big thing with Tenchi, because I love Tenchi so much. But then when I go back to watch it, even on the Blu-ray version, you could see where they stop talking and their lips are still moving. Yeah. And it looks like an old Japanese movie.
Exactly.
And it's like, because back then they weren't really allowed to edit the video at all. They weren't allowed to touch the video. They could only dub on it. That's why a lot of the sentences weren't complete sentences, or they were like translated completely different.
Yeah. I will say though, one show that I really did like though, where they like, changed the scripting and the scripting was kind of funny, was Digimon. Like, I'm going back onto it because I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I watched I had Netflix and I watched the first, second, and third season of Digimon.
They made Netflix. More than that?
And, yeah, they did. The fourth season is actually pretty good too, but I watched the seasons and there were so many things that that went over my head as a kid. Yeah. That I didn't even pay attention to. I was just like, oh man, this is Digimon. This is really cool. But watching, like, going back to it, I was like, that's funny. I was like, that's actually really clever. Like what they're saying and stuff. So I don't know. I know, me and my buddy Jalen, he's one of my friends over in Los Angeles. We have this little inside joke because we were watching like an old Digimon like episode. It was I think the episode where like Mimi like had to sing to like wake up like Shogun Geckomon or something like that. I can't remember. And like they had Tai and Joe's voice actor, and they come there like, yeah, hey, let me give it a shot. And they start singing. It's like, I want to sing a song, like really bad. And then Joe just comes up out of nowhere and he's just like, I'm attempting to sing a song that'll awaken you and I all the Geckomon. And he's just like saying all these like a whole bunch of words. Like And like, it's not even matching the lip flaps at all, but it was just so funny that I didn't like it. I didn't even care. I was just like, this is hilarious, dude.
We talked about that in a previous episode of how sometimes they'll change, in the old anime, in the old dubs in like the early 90s, late 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
How they didn't redub the songs.
Yeah.
But like, it was like Digimon and some of the newer stuff, they started actually redubbing it or singing their own version.
Yeah, and then believe it or not, if you've seen some of the more modern stuff, like they've actually stopped doing that.
Have they?
Yeah, they have, because I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it had something to do with like Japan not really wanting us to like redub their songs. You know
that means we'll never get Macross over here.
Yeah, I mean, if there's people out there that can do covers, maybe, I don't know, but I mean, I've heard some pretty good, anime covers.
Well, that's a difference between Japan and over here.
Yeah,
is over here our voice actors and actresses, they're good singers, but they're not like professional singers. Over there, it's like a requirement to be a good singer.
Yeah, I mean, we do have some good ones though. Like, I mean, there's definitely some voice actors out there that dub songs that were like really good. Like, I know Caitlin Glass did one. It's Vinyana. Vic Mignogna.
He went and sang the Oran High School one.
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean, I watched that show. I forgot. Like,
yeah, he actually does. I can't remember if it's the opening or the ending. But he does one of them, and it's like the Sakura Love song, and it's just so funny. Just because in the Japanese version, it's Haruhi. Is it Haruhi or Haruhi?
It's Haruhi, I think it should be.
I can't remember her name. Haruhi. But anyways, her voice actress was singing it in the Japanese version.
Yeah. So
hearing Vic Mignogna sing it in English just sounds so awesome.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to look back and look at that then, because I completely forgot. Like, I can't remember that at all. But no, speaking of Aron though, like that's actually a pretty good show. Like, I think you were the one that told me to watch it.
Yes.
Dude, that was crazy.
Well, it's like the reverse harem shows are really hit or miss.
Yeah.
It's like people make fun of harem shows all the time of being like so ecchi or just over the top, and like they never choose. It's like you watch those reverse harem shows.
Yeah.
The main chick is usually like the blandest character ever. Like most of the guy harem or like the regular harems with the guy. Yeah, usually the guy's a cookie cutter main character.
Yeah, but there's something about him.
Yeah, he has a personality still. But it's like with a lot, like what was it? Brothers Conflict.
Oh my gosh, that show. Frick.
All of the guys were awesome. Like they all had their own personalities. They were all really cool. And I get it that it's meant for girls because, it's the reverse harem.
Yeah. But
don't girls like want their main character not to be like this little pushover of a girl?
That's actually a good point. That's actually a good point. Because I remember in that show, which, by the way, viewers, I don't know why we watched it, but it was actually
we're anime guys. Okay. We're gonna watch everything under the sun that's not hentai.
But let me tell them why, okay? Because the thing was we actually kind of viewed it like the first episode just as a joke, just to see like
that's right
how stupid like this was gonna be. And
no.
So then here's what happens. So then, not knowing, like, know that Steven was still watching the show, and Steven didn't know that I was still watching the show in secret.
This sounds really bad, like we're watching like a porno or something here. We're watching girl anime. Leave us alone.
No, so we come back, and I'm just like, I end up talking about like Brothers Conflict or something, and Steven starts talking about it too, and I'm like, wait a minute. Did you watch the show? And I go, I watched it. I didn't think you did. And he goes, I watched it. I didn't think you did. And I'm just like, wow. So we both watched this show. completely starting out as just it being a joke, and then we're just like, wow, we
It's
actually
an
watched the whole thing.
watched it.
So, but no, going anyway.
And she still didn't choose somebody at the end.
She didn't. Well, way to spoil it for everybody, man.
Like, they really, trust me, it wasn't that great of a show.
Nah, that is true. I know.
Mainly because it was like,
well, what I
the
know.
exceptions of like the reverse harems,
Yeah.
like Skip Beat is probably one of my favorite shows and mangas.
Skip Beat was good.
Is like, she has a personality, she stands up for herself.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, there's the big Shonen guys that are kinda into her, and she's kinda into the, you know, the whole thing. But she still has her own personality and stands as her own character.
Exactly.
And like, that's with Ouran High School.
And and like, well, with like half the show with like Skip Beat too, like it was kind of just focusing on her. It wouldn't really focus on like the
it wasn't focusing on the
love kind of,
even though that's the whole premise of the show.
Exactly, yeah. So that was a good show though, and it had a great theme song. So
yes,
it was a good theme song. But yeah, no, like with Brothers Conflict too, like I still remember too, like watching that. Like I think I was thinking it was going to be like the main guy character, you know, the guy I'm talking like with the red hair, and he had like I was thinking he's going to be the main character, and like halfway through the show they like completely like
ignore.
Yeah, completely.
The one dude that like doesn't. That's the other thing that I want to hit on this whole Shojo reverse harems and stuff. When I was without a job, I was on like one manga like constantly reading mangas. And I ended up reading, like, a crapload of shoujo mangas. I'm not kidding. Like, if you know a shoujo manga, I've probably read it.
Really?
But the one thing I've really noticed about all of these mangas and shows is all the guys want to rape the girl, basically.
Oh, man.
And the girl still likes the dude. It's like, what is this telling to our, like, I get it's for the Japan must have a different civilization of like,
I don't know, man.
But it's like, that really just puts women down of, here's this one guy who's really nice to me and everything, but then there's this really hot guy who basically almost rapes me constantly. I'm going to go with that guy.
Yeah. I don't
And that
know.
was with Brothers Conflict. It was like you said, the red-haired dude was like the only guy who was actually like really nice to her.
Yeah.
And because he actually liked her.
Yeah, and it wasn't weird and
It wasn't really weird because the whole thing is the two families were coming together.
Yeah.
So they're brother and sister, but they're not related because it was just their parents getting married.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know.
But it was like,
but it's like
he liked her before that all happened.
Yeah.
But then all the other brothers pretty much try to rape her, and they're constantly like kissing her and stuff throughout the entire show, and you're just going, what is wrong with this girl?
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know. It was a weird show. It was a weird show.
That was a weird show.
It really was. But one show that you introduced me to that I actually really liked, that I ended up watching all of it, all the seasons, was Genshiken.
Oh,
remember that?
Yes.
So
Genshiken.
Dude, that show was
highly recommend Genshiken to everybody.
Dude, I don't know what it was, but it's like the concept of that anime was so simple. Like it was just it was a club. It was
the study of cultural.
Like I can't remember.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
It was a really long name,
but
it was like the whole premise of it was a college club.
Yeah,
that
they met.
They met and just
read
mangas,
like,
watched anime.
Yeah, went to conventions and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and like,
but they weren't like an anime club. They weren't a manga club. They were all the like geek culture, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what it was, but like it was, like I said, it was such a simple concept, but I had to keep watching it. You know, I was like, I want to know what happens next
because of the girl who was like the girlfriend of like the cross-dresser.
Oh yeah,
she just did not get it.
Oh yeah,
and
I remember.
It was really cool to see the interactions between them all of how she really likes the dude. She's liked him since they were kids or whatever it was. So they've been boyfriend and girlfriend for years. But he's really into anime and all that, and she just didn't get it.
I know.
And I love seeing that interaction, and it really reminds you of when you're trying to like talk to what we call, quote, normal people about like anime and stuff.
Wow.
But it was like, and I think that's why Genshiken was such a good show, because it really hit that mark of how society really looks at some of these people, and how until you actually take time and try to understand it, you're never going to get it.
Yeah. I mean, it was, like I said, it was good, because like I said, it reminded me, because you know me, I wasn't really big into anime when I was like a kid and stuff, and you kind of got me into that, and I was like, all right, cool,
really
thanks.
got you.
Yeah, I was like, thanks, Steven, but nah, and like just watching the show, it just kind of made me like think about, just like you said, just people that really enjoy something like that, and then everybody else around like doesn't really get it, but the people in that group don't even care, because they like it so much. They're like, I don't care what other people think.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna keep on reading, my manga, keep on watching my anime and stuff, and I'll be happy and stuff. So I don't know. It was a great show though. So I mean, for the listeners, if you haven't seen it, the show's called Genshiken. Steven and myself both really, really recommend the show. It is a little bit more like for mature audience. I wouldn't say it's like for kids.
Well, it's definitely not for kids.
So like, but
most anime is for kids.
That is true. And, no, let me tell you something. Okay, and I don't know if these people like have listening like have had this.
Nah, people listening, they don't know anime. They just listen to us.
No, let me tell you. Okay. Every time I end up saying that I like anime to a friend of mine that doesn't really like anime or that doesn't really know about it, they're like, oh, so like that Pokemon stuff, that Digimon stuff. And
my God.
I'm like, yes, that is anime, but that is like kid anime. Like, I'm talking
that annoys me.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah.
Because one of my older brother's friends used to call me Pikachu because he knew I liked anime, and he just did not get it. He was one of those guys that did not understand anime, didn't want to understand anime.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, he is like probably a bigger nerd than I am, because he's all into Star Trek, Star Wars, comics, that whole thing. But
really?
Anime, that's stupid, and that's all little kid stuff.
Oh my goodness.
And he used to call me Pikachu because he just did not get it.
What's up, Pikachu? No, like, yeah, I don't. Well, real quick, okay, and before we get back into that, wasn't it you that said something about like it's like people either like comics or they like anime, but rarely people like
the both yes.
or something? I can't remember. Like, was it you that said that?
I've probably said that because I'm one of the rare exceptions. I'm that middle person, that exception of I like both. Mm-hmm. And it's like, for some reason, the geeks who like comics and stuff just don't get anime.
Really?
And it makes no sense to me. I'm like, how do you not get it when most of the stories are so much better than the crap that comes out sometimes?
Yeah.
It's like one of David has mentioned on this show hundreds of times is Berserk. Berserk is like such a like bloody and just awesome story to it. And it's like if you gave somebody a Berserk manga and just said, hey, this is a new comic that came out. Don't tell them it's anime or anything. Mm-hmm. They're going to read it and love it. And then the moment you tell them it's anime, they'll be like, oh, this is stupid.
Yeah, that's kid stuff.
It's kids. Like... And it's like, that's where the whole... We can go in forever on this subject.
Yeah, let's not do that.
This will be for when Retcon and our show combine one day, and we go into this whole thing.
Exactly. So answer me this question then, since we're on the subject of anime. What would you say? Because I know you always say that Elfen Lied is in your top 3 animes.
Oh, yes.
So which one would you say is your top 1?
Oh, I'm putting Tenchi. I don't care.
Tenchi Muyo? Really?
It's usually Tenchi or DBZ.
Really?
Because those were really my first kind of anime. It was like...
So it's kind of got a little special place in your
It's
heart.
always got a special place in my heart. It's like DBZ, of course, that's actually what got me into anime. I was 9 years old, and they were showing the Saiyan Saga on UPN 44.
Wow. Talk about like old,
I just
bro.
really aged myself there. But that's
good,
when
man.
I
It's all
got,
good.
because I used to watch that show all the time. And one of my friends actually was like, hey, you know, that's anime. And I was like, what the heck is anime? And that's where it all started, was DBZ. But then later on, Tenchi came out on Toonami.
Yeah.
And just the whole fact of Tenchi was just awesome. I love little Ryo-Ohki that turns into a ship.
Yeah.
And like Tenchi makes like lightsabers and stuff. And I was just like, this is the greatest show ever.
Oh, this is so cool. So no, that's good though, man. Like, I mean, you know, the classics are
the
kind of what
classics.
started it all, you know? For me, like, I remember, like, I mean, I would watch Dragon Ball Z every once in a while, but I wasn't, like, super, super big into it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would watch it on occasion and be like, oh, that's kind of cool, you know, but, I think the first, you know, and I mean, I watched Digimon and Pokemon and stuff, but I didn't know that was anime, you know, like.
That's with
I
a
thought
lot
that
of people, because I actually, before DBZ, I used to watch Transformers.
Yeah.
And I had no idea it was anime because it's Transformers. It's robots in disguise.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, there's anime? What? Yeah. But I think the first show that I actually kind of got into, it was actually recently, like a couple years back. It was because of you. It was that Sora no Toshimono, like the angel that like came down and like, you know what I'm talking about?
Heaven's
Lost Property.
Lost Property. That's it.
Something like that. And I don't know, like, I got into that, and, I mean, it was funny, but I wouldn't classify that as, like, my favorite. Then I ended up watching Haruhi Suzumiya, you know, the manga, which was good until the second season of the freaking Endless 8.
Dude, ruined it.
I straight up, I was gonna survive. Like, I knew I was gonna survive. I was like, I don't care what it takes, I'm gonna watch all these freaking episodes, no matter what it takes. And dude, by the end of it, like, I needed to like step out or something for a second, because I was like, this is ridiculous.
It was just,
and well, get this.
I don't get the production. That, like, when was this ever? I could see this. Okay, hold on. Let me get my thoughts together, people. For those that don't know, Haruhi had in the novels what's known as the Endless 8, where she did not want the summer to end. So because her powers work unconsciously, basically they kept repeating the same 2 weeks for,
I think it was 500
it was
years.
like 500 years total. But like, you know, every 2 weeks it would restart. And it was known as the Endless 8.
Mm-hmm.
And in the light novel, this ended, it was only about 20 pages. And for those that read novels know that 20 pages isn't that long. That's not even a chapter. And for some reason, the production people of whoever, I can't remember who does Haruhi, I think it's Bandai, but who knows. They had in their mind, they're like, ooh, Endless 8. Let's make 8 episodes of the exact same thing over and over,
bad,
just in different perspectives.
Oh, it was bad,
or
bro.
they're wearing different colored shirts, and it was like, are you serious?
It was horrible. But no, let me tell you a little something about that, because I heard that what had happened with the English dubbing for that was that the voice actors actually had to dub all the episodes.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Like
because you had to.
They couldn't like take, you know, their old lines from one episode and put it into another one. Like, I heard that they actually had to like dub it all because they had different lip flaps. And they had different
the timing
everything, and
was
it's just
different.
Like, I was like, oh my goodness! Like, I could not imagine.
That's the
that.
point of where you want to like shoot yourself.
Yeah. But
It's
hey,
like-
I mean, they got paid, so I mean, you know.
I got paid, so who gives a crap?
So, but no, I will say though that the movie, the
movie was
of Haruhi
good.
Suzumiya, that made up for it. So
Yes.
if you guys haven't seen it, the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, that is a great movie. I mean, definitely watch the series beforehand. That way the movie actually makes sense.
Yes.
But even if you don't, and the movie doesn't make sense, you'll still be like, "Ooh, pretty lights! Like, this is really
Pretty
good,"
lights.
you know. So, but no. Anyway,
And for all you that think you're too mature, there is stabbing and blood flying everywhere as a maniacal person laughs.
it's a secret. But no, but
People
anyway,
have learned that I'm very bad of not spoiling stuff.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. But even still, like, even since we got on that whole tangent, like, that's still actually not my like favorite anime and stuff. Like, you know me, I love my key animes.
Oh,
you know, like
man.
Clannad, Angel Beats,
Well, actually,
You know,
speaking of
Little
Key,
Busters.
Key is doing a new anime.
Really?
They are adapting their visual novel Rewrite.
Rewrite? I did not know that actually.
Yeah,
Like, I did not know that.
I had no I remember reading the visual novel.
Mhm.
We're looking at another air
Really?
of like how bad this is probably going to
yeah.
be, because
Oh,
Rewrite
yeah.
was not a good story.
See, the thing is with Air. Okay, now let me just okay.
Are you going to try to defend Air?
I'm not gonna defend Air because I'll be honest with you. I watched about 5 episodes and I stopped just because I ended up finding out like what was gonna happen. I was just kind of like, well, I don't really feel like watching it now. But in its defense, its theme song was really good.
That's pretty bad. That's like saying the
And-
art style was really good.
And well, it was. Vic Mignogna was good as the main character in that.
Oh,
in the
this
English
just makes
adaptation.
this worse.
No,
Because there's so many jokes with Vic Mignogna
Yeah.
about his rabid fangirls at conventions and stuff. And this is the biggest issue I have with Air,
yeah.
was the whole thing is about a like close to 30-year-old guy going for a little 14-year-old.
Was he really 30?
Yeah, he's like 28 or something in the show. But that's the whole concept is
I
like
didn't.
they're the reincarnated
Okay.
of their
see,
past lives,
see,
but they're
yeah.
still the wrong age.
See, I didn't. Yeah, see, I didn't know that much. I just kind of started watching it because you told me not to, and I was like, "Well, I need to watch it then."
See,
'Cause I
that's
wanna
the
see how
thing
bad it
with
is.
Key, man. Like,
But
that's why I hate Air so much. Is just like that whole concept just grosses me out to
really.
know it. And that is the story. That is the complete story
Yeah,
of Air.
I mean,
is like
I didn't-
she was like this angel creature in her past life,
Yeah.
and she died saving her and her past life's mom.
Yeah.
And then those two got together. That's what's even funnier. Is those two
Okay.
got together.
See, yeah, I didn't know that.
And then we go back to modern day, and now he's with, or he's like that puppeteer dude
yeah,
or
he's
whatever.
the puppet guy. Yeah, the puppet.
And like now the little girl like remembers or kind of remembers or something. So she's like hitting on him, and like the mom is still there. It's just so nasty and gross.
I don't know. I can't remember, to be honest with you. I watched a few episodes. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say it was absolutely horrible, but like, let's just say I stopped watching it. But I will say that some of the other animes that Key's come out with, like Canon, Clannad After Story, Angel Beats, Little Busters, like those were all good.
Okay, we need to really back up there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Canon was probably the only good one of its story blending in the whole like spiritual aspect and everything.
Yeah.
And that whole mystery and like really hits your emotions with the little fox girl.
Yeah.
And like that's great. Clannad, I want to take and just stomp on the ground of like how much I hated that show, because it's like is just like he was sitting there with Nagisa or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember.
I'll accept that. Okay, he chose Nagisa because Nagisa actually completes him.
Mm-hmm.
Of like makes him an actual person. He found himself in Nagisa.
Yeah.
And I get that. Okay, that's great. And then After Story happened, the second season of where
which
they
is
get
great.
where they get together, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, she's still sick and everything. Oh, now she's pregnant, and then she dies giving birth, and you're like, oh, that's really sad.
That is
and
a massive spoiler, by the way.
Oh, it's like a 10-year-old show if they haven't watched. But it's like, you're going, oh, this is really sad. And then you go into the whole emotional with the kid and everything.
I remember.
But then they did the crotch punch of, you know what? We're just going to restart everything. That's our big twist. So it's like, here you are all emotional that you're like, how could they kill Nagisa? How could they kill the little kid? And you're just like, it's so sad. And then, oh, it's all back because he learned that he needs them. And it's like, are you effing serious?
Okay. But I will say, for the viewers that watch the show, and they actually got emotionally attached to Tomoya, excuse me. Tomoya's the silver hair girl. Tomoya and Nagisa, and then like that whole aspect. And
that's what I'm saying.
Kid and stuff. I mean, I'm sure they were happy that they brought her back. You know,
it's like,
but I mean, I understand that that's not realistic.
Yeah,
you know,
there's the two things. It's like Naruto and Fairy Tail did the exact same thing. Of they have this big emotional thing of a character dying.
Yeah,
and then they're just like, and they're back. It's like in comics that happens all the time. People die, come back, so it never gets emotional.
Yeah.
In anime, usually when a character dies, they stay dead because it's a big emotional thing that just happened.
Yeah.
But it's like when you reset something like that.
Yeah, it kind of takes away the whole like.
Yeah, the whole thing of like, why do I even care? It's
I guess they were just kind of going for that happy ending, but I guess in a way, like that does kind of make sense. Like,
it's like if they wanted to go the happy. Did you ever watch the movie?
I did not watch the movie. I meant to, but I actually never got a chance to.
The movie pretty much does the same as the series on story aspect.
Yeah.
Except she stays dead.
Okay, so she does stay dead.
So it's like the movie almost tried to like
put it in a different point of view.
Put in a different
where it's like, oh well, this is what would have happened if she stayed.
Yeah,
dead.
it's like this would actually happen. This is a better story.
Yeah.
And then the series was like, you know what? We're just gonna pull a pain.
Bring her back.
And resurrect everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was a good show. Again, I like the theme song. Like, okay, if you guys didn't notice, I really like a lot of anime theme songs. So, Steven always has to skip it when we watch it, so I always get really mad.
It's because I've seen them so many times.
They're good.
I have a thing about the themes.
Yeah.
It's because I used to work at Hollywood Video. And for those that don't know what Hollywood Video is, it was like Blockbuster, but worse. But I had the Odd Hack Sign DVD like playing a lot because that was like the only anime they had in the store.
Yeah.
But when it got busy, I forgot about it. So it would be stuck on the DVD menu playing the theme song. So here I am working and I'm just listening to the theme song over and over and over to the point of like, I'm like, I can't take this.
Why? No, it's okay, man. It's okay. You know, Hollywood's closed down. Like, there's no. You can suppress those memories.
Suppress the memories of Seesaw.
Yeah, no, I mean that's cool though. Like I guess with the whole key thing. I mean, I've always liked the story and just the animation to it too. And I mean, like Little Busters. When I watched that, I was just like, oh man, this show's great. The theme song is so wonderful. But it was a good show, and like it was surprising because I wasn't, when I watched the show, like I wasn't expecting it to get like, they have this habit of just like completely like making everything like all conjumbled.
Yes.
And then, you're like really confused as to what's going on, and then all of a sudden it gets like unconjumbled.
See, that's the thing.
And then
with
it's like,
Key.
oh, so that kind of makes sense, you know?
See, that's the thing. It was like Canon did it correctly,
Yeah.
and now Key is trying to do what Canon did, and they just can't do the same. It's like they're trying to do the same thing with all their stories.
Okay.
Even though they have good stories, they want to keep doing that same
Like
thing.
mystical,
The
kinda,
mystical,
like,
yeah,
weird in a dream, but you're not. You know,
yeah.
kinda.
It was like the one that you absolutely love, Angel Beats.
Yeah. Well, see, with that one, believe it or not, with Angel Beats, I think what was supposed to happen was they were actually supposed to have more episodes for it, but something happened to where they couldn't develop more episodes for it. So that's why it ended so quickly. That's why it's like you got the backstory of.
It was just so confusing.
Oh my gosh, what was that girl's name? The one with the pink hair. You know, she was like
the rock star.
Yeah. That she really liked, like Hinata and all that, you know, all that stuff. You get her backstory, and then you don't get anybody else's backstory, and it's pretty much just like, oh yeah, everybody else, you know, spoiler alert, everybody else, like, you know, has disappeared, and now it's just us 5 left here, and, you know, we're still latching on to whatever, but we're finally letting go, so we're gonna disappear too. And it's like, well, what happened to the backstory with everybody else? What happened to TK? You know, TK is my favorite freaking character. He can't just disappear and me not know why. You know, so I don't know.
I love TK only because of the memes that are out there.
Dude,
there
TK,
are so many things with TK because he's like the stereotypical like gangsta white guy.
Yeah,
and it's so perfect.
He dances. Dude, he's so funny though too. Like I love how they had him speak English even in Japanese.
Yeah,
he's just like good chance and luck, yeah, boy. You know, I'm just like, what the heck, man? I'm like, this is great. But no, I mean that was a good show too. I really liked it, but I mean it was like I said, it was too short. You know, 12 episodes. I just don't think was long enough to really portray the story in a good way. You know, like an exciting way. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's already out. So I mean, I can't really do anything about it. But whatever.
Well, let's see. Well, we're getting kind of close to our time here. So let's see. We usually sit there and kind of talk about what's airing right now, but we're at the good point, the season of everything has ended.
Really?
Because next week starts
the
fall season of anime.
That is true, and I accidentally kicked the table. I apologize. But no, that is true. I noticed a lot of like the animes are coming up to like their 24th episode.
Yep.
Somewhere around there.
Everything's ending, and for all you Gate lovers, don't worry. Gate is coming back in January.
Dude, Gate was good. Another good show was Food Wars. That show was hysterical.
We've talked about Food Wars.
Yeah, that show was absolutely hilarious. But no, Gate was good. I think there was a couple more that. I know you probably don't watch it, but TOWWTA X2. Dude, that is, let me tell you, that is a fantastic show. It got so much like darker, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, I think I can't get into TOWWTA just because it's like done by the Bacano people.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to take place in the same world as Bacano.
Yeah.
But I want more Bacano. I want those characters. I don't want any of the TOWWTA characters.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Bacano was a really good show. It was really.
I mean, we do get one episode that Isaac and Miriam do show up in one episode.
They are there in one episode,
and they are the best couple of all anime.
I agree, but yeah, no, I mean it's a good show. I would definitely give it a chance. I mean, the first season was good, but the second season just completely blew out of the water. Like especially the second arc of the second season.
Yeah,
it just I don't know what it was, but like I watched it and I was like, oh man, this is actually pretty good, you know. Plus, again, the theme song was really good. And the ending theme was great. But plus they introduced like a whole bunch of more characters, which if you already know the story of TOWWTA, there's already a ton of freaking characters in that show. And of course they're going to introduce more characters, so you're just like, I don't know which characters to follow, but there's so many, but they're all so cool, and this is just crazy. It's a fantastic show. I've really enjoyed watching it, and that's another show that's actually getting dubbed currently. Like the second season's getting dubbed. They already dubbed like the first arc of the second season, and now they're actually dubbing the second arc of the second season. So yeah, I had to think about that for a second, but it's pretty good from what I've heard so far. So it's exciting.
It's exciting. Oh man. Oh well, we're really running over time. Thanks for sticking around. Yeah. This has been the one where we talk about anime.
Pretty much. So thanks for listening, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming on. David will most likely be back next week, guys. If not, we'll probably have Jordan on here again.
Whatever, man.
But we'll see.
I'm down with it. But anyway, David, if you're listening too, get better, bro. All right?
All right. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Run 1,000 miles, and I am barely breathing. Only the fuel of a passion heart keeps this body strong and moving forward. But could it be I found a place to rest? How far until I'm okay? Trees of the town reveal the time has come once again to shift our